What it do, baby? We are back at it. It's your Wheel Talks, boys. I'm Marty O'Connor.
And I'm Sonny Casebauer coming at you with a brand new edition for the 2020.
Oh, so excited, man.
Yeah.
You know, a couple weeks off, got that vacation
Refreshed.
in. You know, I'm feeling good.
Refreshed, renewed, ready to go after this new year. There's a lot of cool things happening. I think the one thing everybody's got to get dialed in, though, for the new year is some new threads.
Get that steez right.
Right?
Yeah. Place they could do that is Zappos Adaptive. If you want to get looking right, feeling right for this new year, it all starts with attitude. But I think before attitude, you got to get your steez right.
Yeah, you got to get your clothes right. And I think one of the biggest challenges we always have is finding clothes that fit us appropriately in our situations. So if you need clothes that have zippers on it or special little diggly wigglies, check out Zappos Adaptive. They'll hook you up.
I always thought it was, fashion over function.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to look good, but nothing worked right. But now, you can get both.
Well,
Zappos Adaptive.
You're growing up, dude.
Growing up.
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah.
We
Thanks,
just
man.
hit a milestone over here. All right.
Yeah, for
Exciting.
sure.
Exciting.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So what are we going to cover today? What do you think?
I think, just given the time of the year, we can get into like some New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
Maybe about, how the holidays went for you
Yes.
and I. And then I think, I really want to get into staying healthy.
Yeah.
Because it's not always easy. And, people don't always think that they can get in the gym and work out when you're incapacitated or in a chair or whatever. So
100%.
I think we should get into all that, man. So,
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Tell me about the holidays. How were they for you?
Very, very, very exciting. I kept it mellow, still kind of working on my house. But one of the great experiences I just got to do was I filmed a commercial for Star Wars' new ride at Disneyland. And the one thing that I got from that, beyond the whole experience of being around all those people, was how just accommodating everybody was. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that when you go into a situation and you make people feel comfortable, they'll do things for you without even saying anything.
Totally.
And what I mean by that is, like, I'm always a little bit nervous when I'm on set because 99% of people really don't have experience with somebody in my shoes, right? So when I go on there, I'm always fearful, like, am I going to be that guy that holds things up? Because everybody's already stressed out. We already have long days. I don't want to be that guy that makes us have to go another hour because of my special needs.
Yep.
And on this shoot, it was really great. Everybody, after kind of getting friendly, I'd be kind of going somewhere and someone will come behind me and start pushing my chair without me asking, which I'm totally cool with.
Yeah.
Like, save this drink for something else, right?
Yeah, straight up.
Getting off the ride was really easy for me, but there was times where I'm like, dude, my arms are gassed, I'm tired. And like one of the guys on the set would come over and like, hey, bro, you need help? It would help me get on and off the ride back into my chair, which I thought was just cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that all started with my attitude was I was friendly, I was approachable, and I kind of took the stigma away from, hey, this is totally cool, right? I even had people taking breaks. They sit on my tires, they sit on my chair, they lean against it. So you knew they were comfortable. So I guess my point is, if you're out there, it doesn't matter what disability you have, or even if you're just special, unique, artistic, whatever, you can make somebody feel comfortable and they'll treat you differently based on how you present yourself and your attitude towards the world. If you kind of have more of an open mind and you're more friendly, you'll get that in return, I think, 9 times out of 10.
I totally agree. And I think I've always found that you attract what you put out there.
100%.
So if you're cold sitting in a corner, maybe someone will have a heart and want to come out and see how you're doing or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're out there and, making the effort and, putting a smile on people's faces, putting a smile on your own face,
Yes.
People are going to want to come and, hang out and help you out. I think we don't give people credit that often because most of the time it's probably not deserved, but there's good people out there, and you just got to be a good person yourself. And I think what goes around comes around, and case in point right there.
I actually used one of your terms over the weekend.
What's that?
They were like, hey, if we were going to go through Disneyland on like a real crowded day, how do you think it would work out? I'm like, oh, we just snowplow through people.
Yeah. Dude.
And they were like, they visualized it. It took them a second. They started laughing.
Absolutely.
Because they just pictures mowing people down. And I'm like, hey, that's what my buddy says. We just snowplow people whenever we're in crowded places. We just make room wherever we got to go.
Take them out.
Yeah. But you had a pretty interesting travel day that I heard about. Let's hear about that.
Boy, did I. Yeah. So, leaving Orange County, flying out to Florida for the holidays. I brought my dog with me, which is awesome. Okay. I've always kind of got him, dog sitters or whatever, but this time he came with me. And
do you get to take him on board with you, or is it a crate?
I do, because he's a support animal, okay. So he gets to sit up in the bulkhead seat with me.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, man. So in the past, he has had a little bit of anxiety. He's a rescue.
Okay.
And we've given him a doggy Xanax, and he's done okay. Got a little little woozy, but all in all, he's good, a lot more calm, and it did what it was set out to do. Now that was a few years ago.
Yeah. And
he's the ripe old age of almost 14 here.
Wow. Okay.
And so this Annex just hit different, bro. Oh my God, man. Dude. So we give it to him right before we get on, our flight in Orange County going to Denver. Give it about 30 minutes. My dog is out cold, bro. I mean, like literally lift his paw, drop it. He is just freaking out. I'm like, oh, he's having some good dreams right now. He's having a good
eyes closed,
one.
everything.
Just eyes closed, chilling. He was,
oh my gosh.
Like, I even looked down. I'm like watching him very close. I'm like, is he breathing? Like, I'm just like looking at his son. Like, he's okay. He's chilling. Maybe he's just on one right now. But we're landing and everything. We're trying to get him up. I'm like, dude, you lift his paw, drop it. He's out. He's out my cold. God. I'm like, oh God, that's like, hilarious. What did we do?
Yeah.
And so we're trying to get off the airplane, which, in its own right, it's kind of a pain because I got to get transferred out and you got to have a dog, and all these other things. So my dad ended up having to carry the dog off the plane.
Oh my God.
And I think
he's not a small dog either.
No, he's like 60 pounds, 65 pounds. And oh my gosh, dude. So everyone in Denver, I think it's just something's in the air. In Denver, everyone's like, what's that guy on, man? I want some of that,
Yeah.
And everyone's just laughing, but we had to carry him through the airport to our next flight, which was a super tight turnaround. So our flight got delayed. And if we didn't get out, then it wasn't going to work out well. Shout out to Southwest Airlines. Yeah. They had multiple people helping us out, brought us to the next flight. Anyways, we fly to Florida after that. Yeah. Dude is just still out cold for hours, man. Just out. I'm like, all right, he's on. He's having a good one. But we got a few more hours, so he'll perk up, right?
Yeah.
Dude, he was so done. We ended up, he could get up, but he was still falling over every time he got up. So we got off the plane, and you know how, other people in chairs that can get up and walk, but they have trouble. They get wheelchairs from Southwest or any other airline. Yeah, we ended up having to get my dog a freaking wheelchair to get off the plane, and you'll see it on the screen.
What a sight to see.
Dude, I felt so bad for him, but I was also laughing.
Yeah.
It was like...
Oh my God, both you guys in wheelchairs getting
poor
wheeled
guy,
out of the airport.
So we have my dog next to me. We got me. We're just going through the airport. Just a freaking sight. But
that's hilarious.
All in all, he was a homie. He was a good he was a good sport about the whole thing. But yeah, made for one heck of a flight out there. Easily the longest, most stressful day possible.
Same dose you've always given him?
Same dose we've always given him.
It just, for some reason, knocked him on his butt this time.
Just hit different this time.
That's hilarious.
So, and we made it out there, but it was a train wreck, a roller coaster, but we're there.
We're there, man. We made it. We're there. That's awesome. Well, I hope everybody that's watching, listening, or whatever you guys are doing, had great holidays and are ready to get back into. We have a lot of aspirations for 2020. What's a couple of your resolutions for 2020?
Big things, man. I got big things coming with the film Relentless.
Yeah.
We're actually doing Sundance Film Festival.
What?
Yeah. And in January, baby.
Have you seen the Entourage episode of when they go to Sundance?
I probably did, but it's not ringing a bell.
Okay, so quick little ad lib to that. Turtle and Drama have a 3-way in there.
Oh God!
And the joke is they accidentally touch sticks, and they're super awkward about it. It's hilarious.
Oh my God!
It's one of the funnier episodes. It's like in season 2 or 3. They go for the first. I forget what Vince's first movie was, but it's with that crazy director Walsh.
Okay, yeah.
Can't think of the top of my head right now, but. Hilarious episode.
Okay.
Entourage was like my jam. Oh, I still love the show.
Victory! Yeah, so good.
But yeah, anyway, Sundance is pretty legit.
Sundance is huge. So we're kicking off our tour for the documentary.
Right on.
Going to be traveling the nation. Going to various universities, colleges, rehab centers, businesses.
So cool. Yeah.
Doing that stuff. Growing our own business. Trying to grow this pod. You and I got some big things.
Yeah.
All in all, just be a good person. Be good to those around me.
Yeah.
Find love. And do the damn thing.
I think for me, my New Year's resolution this year is to continue building. I think everything that I've done the last couple of years has set a foundation. I think this was a year that the foundation is set. It's time to level up.
Yeah.
I really love to get on a sitcom or movie this year. Yeah, I've done some commercial work now, and even though it hasn't been like major stuff yet, I'd love to get on a sitcom or some type of movie. That would be huge for me this year.
Heck yeah. You can't set your goals too big.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, you can't set them too small either, because
right.
they have to be attainable.
Yeah.
You know, I think for me, something that is attainable is just being disciplined,
right,
and staying focused. You know, like cutting my things into bite-sized pieces, or just some things that I can do every day. So we'll get into that.
Yeah.
You know, a bit. You know, because we want to talk to you guys about New Year's or New Year's resolutions. A lot of people, you know, it's a nice reset and a refresh on what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's 2020. It's a clear vision, baby.
It's crazy because I remember when it was going to be Y2K, year 2000, right?
Yep.
I thought the world was going to end.
Yep, it's over.
And now we're sitting in 2020.
It's nuts.
Where does time go?
I don't know, man. I feel like
it's insane, right?
I feel like Kobe just stopped playing, but that was like
5 years ago.
I still love him.
I know, man.
I know, it still hurts.
It's funny because Marty will text me every time LeBron messes up. He's like, he's no Kobe.
He's no Kobe.
He's no Kobe. I was like, yeah, I agree with you. I'm so glad we're doing as well as we are finally.
Hey,
but
I know we lost a few there, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, I think one of the biggest things to keep in your resolution though is writing it down.
Yeah.
It's lazy just to put it in your phone. It's lazy just to text it to somebody. Physically writing it down and putting it in a place in your house that you will see every day will make it 10 times more effective than just putting it in your notes.
Or having somebody write it for you.
Yeah.
I can't write, Sonny.
You can write with your mouth, can't you?
I mean, I can.
I mean, I've seen you peck a keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, I have. And here's a funny story. So I was at the bank, like a couple months back, and I had to sign this stuff. And they're like, no, you need to sign it. I'm like, yeah, but she's my power of attorney. But it's like, well, can you sign? I'm like, with my mouth? They're like, well, that would be preferred. I'm like, okay, here we go, baby. I'm just like stretch my neck out a little bit.
All right,
get a tissue, wrap it around the freaking
I was gonna say dirty ass pen.
The freaking pen. I'm like, okay.
That's funny.
But you got to make it work. So hey, man, if you need to write it down, you could do it with your mouth. Do it with your mouth. If you could do it with your hand,
all means necessary, right?
So. Just figure it out.
I remember one time I was at a bank teller and she was sitting there biting at the bit to ask me what happened.
Yeah.
And I was on a good one that day. I was really not caring too much about what my answer was.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I used to be an exotic stripper. And I was going up a pool and I slid down it. It was super greased that day. And I slid down and broke my neck. And this lady was sitting there like, wow. And I was just like dying inside, but I kept a straight face. I held through it, and I did not tell her whether or not it was true or not. Till this day, she's probably thinking.
She has no idea.
No idea.
Oh my God. If you're out there watching it, that is 100% true.
Yeah, it's not
exactly
the truth, but But anyways, I like to have fun with my story every now and then.
You got to, man. You got to keep it fresh. Again, it all comes back to you attract what you put out there.
Well, honestly, have you ever told a fake story about how you got hurt?
Yeah.
Like if I know consciously if I'm never going to see that person again, like I have to know for sure though, I will come up with the most wildest story ever.
Yeah. I know for sure.
Wild stories.
Yeah.
Like I've told one that I got my niece a kitten one year for Christmas. And the first day this cat runs up the tree. She called me, Uncle Sonny, can you come get the cat out for me? And I'm like, my heart's broken, right? So I go to the tree and I'm trying to one last branch and I fall, broke my neck. That one's pretty good. That's a tearjerker.
Oh, you're so sweet.
You're so sweet. Look at you.
Yeah,
kiss me.
Let me give you my number. Just in case.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude.
Exactly. What's the craziest story? Do you have anything on top of your head that you've given?
Jeez, dude. I mean, whether it was
snowboarding for sure.
No,
never.
So I was, shark diving, right?
Okay.
What do you call it? Cage diving?
No.
Whatever, in a shark cage, just exploring down in Mexico, right?
All right.
And the shark, it busts through the cage and starts whipping around with me in it.
That's good. That's
thrashed through my wetsuit. It actually caught me, across the back of my neck and broke my neck. And then, God. And it
that's good.
It bit up the guy that was in there with me, and so he couldn't help me.
Oh my God.
And all these things, and whatever.
That's pretty good.
So
they just look at you like a complete tear in their eyes, like, oh my God, this guy's been through hell and back.
I was like, I died 5 times that day.
Yes. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, man. So it's fun when you put it out there.
Yeah. I think you got to have a sense of humor about it.
I mean, it gets boring telling the same story over and over again,
I feel like my story is like lackluster. I feel like it sucks any kind of like climax or hero or like anything exciting.
You know what though? I want to say it's because we're so used to it, and it's just something that we've told over and over again. Because I feel like there's people that encounter my story that are so impacted by it,
right?
Even though to me it's just like is what it is,
yeah.
But But for us, I think we got to spice it up a little to keep ourselves.
I think the hardest part for me telling the story is not the story itself. It's the awkward moment after the story's over where you sit there and they're figuring out what's the appropriate thing to say to you.
Yeah.
Because they're usually like, oh, fuck, that sucks, bro. And you got to sit there and like, no, it's cool, man. Look, I'm doing all this cool stuff, dude. Like, check out my resume, everything I've done since I've gotten here.
Right.
Yeah, no, but cool.
That's
gotta suck though, bro. I couldn't imagine what you do every day or how'd you get through it.
It's because you couldn't handle it.
Yeah, if I was you, I would have just quit. Oh, all right. Then I gotta convince them, no, you wouldn't have quit because you don't know until your back's up against the wall. And
that's the kind of person that doesn't know how to set goals.
Yeah.
Doesn't know how to challenge themselves.
Yeah.
The kind of person doesn't know how to stick to a resolution.
You know what really helps me stick to my resolutions though is an accountability partner.
Like accountability buddy.
Accountability buddy. I like that.
I like that.
Over our head is accountability buddy. Right here.
Can we flash that?
Can we flash that? There it is. Somewhere over there. Yeah. Oh man, yep. That looks clean.
It's like Great White Buffalo.
I think it really helps too when you're doing something that's a little bit challenging. For example, most people always want to set like weight loss goals and gym goals and all that. Mm-hmm. Now I can tell you from firsthand experience, and so can you. Going to the gym by yourself sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you want to crush a workout, get in and out, and it's cool. But for the longevity of it, it's always great to have somebody with the same goals as you. On the days you really don't want to go, you're like, dang, you know what? I had a long night last night. I'm tired. Work sucks. This is happening. That's happening. It's always good to have that accountability partner in your ear that tells you, get in there and get it done.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Especially when you don't have an obligation.
Yeah.
Because you're relying totally on motivation.
Yes.
At that point, like for me, I love having obligations, like having a standing appointment. Like, oh, if I don't show up, I get billed $100 and I miss, so there's consequences to it. When you don't have the obligation, it's totally like an internal motivation. And that's where the accountability buddy comes in and can really
priceless.
And they got to have someone who really has your back because people give up way too easily these days.
Yeah.
I feel like it's someone that, really has your best interest in mind and really wants the best for you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of no bullshit. Like, I think that's why you and I are so great together because we just, like, no, you get after it. You go get that interview, you go take that audition, and you tell me, go do the same.
Well, even with this podcast, I feel like you're my accountability partner. Because there's days where I'm like, we both had long weekends. You just got back from vacation.
Yeah.
I just had 3 days in a row where I'm like, I would love, but in back of my mind, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to let him down. And this is just as important to me too. So it's good. You got to be real selective on who you surround yourself with or you attach your goals to.
Yeah.
When we first talked about creating this podcast, I was like, I know it's going to be successful, but the reason I was so confident was because it was with you.
Yeah.
Anybody else, I'd have been like, we're probably going to start it, but I could see that person tailing off and not following through.
Yeah.
I know you're going to crush it. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, it's a solid partnership.
For sure.
So,
and those people may not always be available, so I think one thing when your accountability buddy is not available, I think visual aids are huge.
Yeah.
Like an accountability mirror. A
vision board.
A vision board. Yeah. Something that is, tangible that you can see every day, whether it's on your mirror when you're getting ready or on around your computer screen, just, little Post-it notes with reminders or
pictures of like on my vision board, I have airplane on there. I have beach house. I have the car I want. I have visual stuff as well.
Yeah.
It helps you keep that dream alive, because there's going to be those days where you're nostalgic. You're just gassed and you're sitting in your chair and you look at that vision board and you're like, all right, I got this.
You have to remind yourself of your why. Yeah. You always have a what in front of you, but if you don't have your why, it becomes meaningless. And I think that's what really makes resolutions fail. That's why people don't stick with things.
Yeah.
Their why isn't big enough. So find your why,
But it's got that why's got to be bigger than a reason not to. So you got to attach that why to something emotional.
Yeah.
That's why they always say like the best diet's a breakup diet.
Yeah.
Because you're so pissed off at your ex, you want to go look 10 times better than you ever did in the relationship. So all of a sudden you just work out like a maniac. So you got to attach your why to something personal. You know what I mean? Like you can't say, I want to lose 10 pounds just because, for the shits and giggles. Like go buy yourself a pair of pants that's 2 sizes too small that you would love or your ass will look good in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as you work your way up, you're like, damn, these pants finally fit. You got to attach it to something you really want. It can't just be like for whatever, for the gram. It's got to be something special.
Right. Yeah. You got to get into something bigger than that.
I also think too, like if you can't find the right accountability people, the more you spread the word, like you put it up on your social media, you tell people about it. it makes you somewhat accountable too, because you don't want to be somebody who's full of shit.
That's like part of your social currency now. People are gonna be like, "So tell me, how's that diet going?"
Yeah, well, you look kind of fat right now. Like, what happened? Like, right? Like, or like, hey, what happened to that book you said you were gonna write? Yeah, about that. Like, it makes you kind of in uncomfortable situations. For
sure.
So the more you kind of speak on it, the more you're reliable for it.
Totally, that makes a bunch of sense, man.
Also, too, I think instead of like, okay, I keep using weight as an example, which is the easiest one. But let's say I want to lose 100 pounds. If you break it up into bite-size increments, it's way easier to attain.
Totally. Yeah, you can't just lose 100 pounds, because then you're going to time and time again not have lost 100 pounds. Yes. It's like you're going to just be reminding yourself, failure.
Not only that, like 10 pounds is an accomplishment.
Huge.
Right? So if you were to break it up into like 10 pounds a month or 10 pounds every 3 months, it feels like you're accomplishing more than if you look at it like, oh God, I still got 90 pounds to go. I mean, that just feels like that guy who's carrying the rock up the hill. And he keeps stumbling, the rock rolls him back over. So break it up into bite-sized accomplishments. Make short-term goals a goal that will curtail or go along with a long-term goal.
Totally.
I think it makes it more attainable that way.
And you got to celebrate those small victories.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got to treat yourself.
Yeah.
So have something like, reward yourself with something when you do finally reach that small milestone on your way to the bigger milestone.
My buddy who's a trainer used to always say people who are trying to change their eating habits, instead of trying to eat healthy 7 days a week, do like 3 days healthy, 1 day off. And build up your tolerance, So you get to like a 7 day, and then you could, every couple of weeks have a cheat day.
Life's about balance.
Exactly.
We can't be perfect and on it all the time. We're going to fail, but, you got to just be able to bring yourself back to center, back in, alignment with your goal, and, it all comes back to your why.
Well, I think that's the biggest problem with resolutions. They're so extreme. They're like extreme lifestyle changes. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, all of a sudden, I want to quit smoking, drinking, going out to the clubs, dating all at once. It's like, first of all, just figure out one thing to center your attention on. All right, like if I'm going to quit smoking, okay, like I'm going to cut down to 4 cigarettes a week, and then the next week will be 3, like do it in increments and don't go so extreme. There's no way you'll maintain it.
And there's like small things that you could do that can have like big time, adjustments and big time impact in your life. Like say, I'm going to get in bed by 10 every night, as opposed to sitting on your phone on the couch watching TV for hours on end till midnight. Then your sleep sucks, and then you're failing at work, and you're not hitting the things that you want to be doing. And it's like just something small can have big time impact as well. 100%. So it doesn't have to be major life changing resolutions.
Well, speaking of that, I didn't really value my sleep schedule until a couple years ago, and I used to stay up till like, cause, not having a 9-to-5 job, always kind of you have weird schedules, right?
Yeah.
But I decided I want to change this, and I started going to bed a little earlier, and now I realize I could wake up at 6, 7 in the morning. I get so much done by noon that I get the rest of my days free to do whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel more accomplished. When I was waking up at 10 or 11, not getting out of bed or outside till 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I just felt like a loser.
Totally. And one thing I've said before, and I'll say it again right now: productivity.
I blew it.
No, productivity. It's a hell of a drug.
It is.
Honestly, when
100%.
when you get some shit done, it feels so good. Honestly, like just getting a little bit of sleep, getting a few extra things done in the morning.
Yes.
You're like, wait, wow, I can get all this done and I feel good. I got time to spare.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have just been sleeping and doing nothing to this point. Like,
you always tell me too, being busy is not being productive. There's a difference between being busy and productive. Like, just because you're busy, you could be doing mindless work or bullshit. You know what I mean? Being productive means like you have a strategy. You're knocking things out that need to be done. But it's such a satisfying feeling when you make the call you don't want to make the call to. You make the appointment you don't want to go to. You know what I mean? Like, there's something that's very satisfying about doing these things that, like, I'm a big procrastinator.
Yeah.
So, like, getting this shit done and, like, changing my lifestyle over, going to bed a little early, waking up a little bit earlier, it's just, I feel like I'm more of an adult now. I do adult things.
Adulting.
Yeah. I cook. You know what I mean?
I cook.
Yeah.
I clean.
You know what I mean? I'm all about my household. I go shopping for decor. Now I'm all fancy. Yeah. So I mean, it's all about like finding something that fits your lifestyle and not being so dramatic about it. And kind of putting it all together.
homeowner with a Pinterest now?
Yeah.
You totally have a Pinterest board, don't you?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally succumbed to that too.
When
I got my place, it was like, what the heck is going on, man? I'm like, I have a Pinterest. I'm looking up fixtures.
Yes.
I'm looking at paint samples. I'm looking at countertops.
I never thought it would
what am I doing with my life?
It's so much harder than what it looks like on TV too. Like I thought
adulting is hard. Home ownership is not easy.
I thought picking out a floor to be the easiest thing I did in the whole renovation. It was by far the hardest thing I've ever done.
But it's because you got taste. Because you got standards.
Yeah. I
mean, shit. I am your host. You got standards, right?
I'm putting a chalkboard wall in my kitchen too.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's
today's recipe.
Yes, today's recipe. Daily accomplishments, all my resolutions. Yes.
Attaboy.
Yeah, but I mean it's all about growing up, but I think, if you take accountability I think that's kind of like where we could end the whole list is if you take accountability for yourself.
Yep.
And I think that's the one main ingredient you got to have to keep it all together.
Yeah.
Be accountable for yourself. You don't make excuses because there's going to be times during the journey where you're going to hit a left turn when you should have went right. Should have zigged when you should have zagged. Things like that where take accountability. You know what? I had an off week. I totally screwed my diet over. Oh, well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Bounce back up, get back on the horse, and keep going. You know what I mean?
So you bring that up, man. You got off your diet. It makes me think, I remember a time, during my injury where I didn't think that, okay, I can't cook, so I can't really control or have a say in what I eat. I can't get in the gym because I can't drive myself there. And even when I get to the gym, what the heck can I do?
Right.
I know you and I have had quite a journey, physically and, getting ourselves back in the gym and doing the things that we needed to. So I kind of want to go through what the mindset is like, after you're freshly injured or whatever your case may be of, you feel stuck and you feel like everything's out of reach. Did you go through a time period like that?
Yeah, I struggled with a patch because when I first got hurt, it was inpatient therapy and then you go to outpatient therapy, but they're pretty what's the word? I don't know. They're not very creative. They kind of run you through what they run a million people through.
Right.
So they don't really tailor make it for you and your needs and what's going on in your mind and your body and everything else. So I struggle with that because I was like, I just can't go to 24-hour fitness right now and get a workout in. Like I need special equipment. I need, equipment I can get my wheelchair into. I need special hand grips. I had no idea where to go, where to look. There was no handbook on it. There was no guidelines to getting off the sidelines written by Marty and Sonny.
Yeah.
None of that,
Right.
So I struggle with that. What about you?
Totally. I think for me, it was more just frustration that I couldn't do the things that I wanted to be doing.
Right.
And I was limited at what was in front of me. Because being the athlete that I was and the physical person that I was, I wanted so badly to be doing the big things again. I wanted to make the big steps. Yeah. But I didn't, it's because I didn't place any value on the smaller steps and the small things that I could be doing, and it's just staying focused. It's, getting into, okay, these exercises aren't what I necessarily want to be doing, but these are the ones that are going to lead me to the next bigger step. Right. And so for people that are struggling out there, know that it's okay to feel that way. It's part of the whole grief cycle. We went through that, and it's something that you got to realize that even if you can't move a finger, let other people move your fingers for you until that time comes.
Yep.
Your body, just because you're not actively doing it, doesn't mean you're not getting the workout. I remember when I was in the hospital, I'm sitting here, I couldn't move a damn thing. I was like, my body was just had so much tone and spasticity. I couldn't move anything. And it was so tight. I just had people literally one person on each leg lifting, pulling, setting my foot down, other two people on my sides holding me up and all this. And it just it felt crazy. I'll throw the video up from that, but it's just I didn't think I could be doing anything, but those were the things where, as maddening and as frustrating as it was, I had to basically submit and be like, okay, this is what I have, and I can either apply myself to this and let people help me, or it's just going to go downhill fast, and this life is going to be out of control in a hurry, and your body's you're gonna get sores from not moving around. You're gonna suffer from a lot of things. So. That that whole situation was just tough.
I know a lot of people are scared to go to like big gyms, you know?
Yep.
I was nervous because I started out when I finally found a gym. It was Goodwill Fitness Center.
Yep.
Now called the Stevie
Rogers A. Severson Fitness and Technology Center of Orange County.
Yeah, that ROCK. But I felt like I had gotten to a point where I was ready to go back to a regular gym.
Yep.
You know, because I wasn't that gym's
big
not,
step, by the way.
It was that gym's not exactly next to my house either, so I felt like I wanted something a little more convenient. I was lucky to have some friends involved in the transition, but it also got to a point too where they were kind of doing their own thing and having their own life too, where not that I felt like a burden, but I felt like, okay, I need to take the next step, which is to be totally independent of that. And let me just be honest with you, 24-hour fitness is not exactly set up for somebody in a wheelchair.
No.
But I went in with a mindset like, I'm going to find out what works for me, what machines I can make work for me.
Yep.
But I also went in and I realized too, it was real easy for me if like, let's say I needed an adjustment on a cable machine, I could ask somebody.
Yeah.
Like, hey bro, do you mind take their ear plugs out? Hey, you mind putting that up there for me?
Yeah.
Not at all. You know, and what I found from that was there's so many people willing and waiting to help.
Yeah.
Like I'd be setting up on a machine and I could feel somebody staring, you know, and they're
Right.
waiting just to be called on, you know, because inside inherently, most people want to be of help to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like maybe it's me, maybe it's you. I don't know if it's just us personally or it's everybody in our situation, but people inherently want to help.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing that prevents that sometimes is maybe your own attitude or my attitude, because I was kind of like embarrassed. Plus, I wanted to show I was independent. Yep. Once I got over that stage, going into the gym, just having a mindset of like, look, I'm just going to make this work. I'm going to figure this out. I got the right hand grips.
People appreciate that.
Yeah,
you know?
they do.
It inspires people around them. Like, shit, man, if I was in that situation, I'd probably be sitting in bed doing nothing,
right.
You know? So people appreciate that stuff. So again, you know, you kind of attract what you put out there, you know, and you can inspire people, you know, just by getting your ass out of bed and trying something. Even if you don't stick to it, you tried, you know, and you got to find a small victory in that. Right.
I also found like I would have guys come to the gym like, bro, I just did like 385 on the bench. You inspired me today. I saw you crushing it over here. So I came over here with my protein shake to share with you. You know, but I heard that on a weekly account, you know, like actually my one buddy I used to work with all the time. He got pissed off. He's like, bro, I can't work out with you anymore. I'm like, why? Everybody wants to come talk to you, bro. It's killing our workouts, dude. I can't work out with you no more. Cause I felt like I didn't want to be rude and not talk to people that were coming up and like talking to me, you know, but, just putting yourself in that uncomfortable situation though, I grew so much.
Yeah.
I found out how really independent I really was.
For sure.
Yeah. I kind of let go of the training wheels. Cause my training wheels before is like, all right, I'm going to go to these places. I'm going to have somebody with me just in case. And once I got rid of that, I felt like, wow, I could really do this all on my own.
For sure.
Then I realized mentally I was holding myself back.
Yeah.
It was all in my head.
For sure, man.
You know, have you had a couple of those moments where you realize, damn, you know, I was really preventing myself from taking the next step?
I think from the time I got injured, that's been the one epiphany that's occurred over and over and over again. It's like I was so much in my own way that I was limiting my potential, you know? And so again, it goes back to like taking small steps that lead to big things. When you start applying yourself, staying focused, you know, submitting to your situation a little bit, accepting and asking for the help that's out there, things start coming your way and they start building on themselves. And it's okay to get frustrated. It's okay to be pissed off, because God knows I've been more frustrated and pissed off than not most, but a lot of people. I'm a hot-headed Irishman. Irish. But you know, it's okay to feel that way, but you can't give up. That's the one thing that you can't do.
Submitting that does not mean giving up, quitting. It just means letting go of what you cannot control anyways.
Yeah. Even if it's temporary, if you want to just give it a shot, I'm like, this sucks. I hate it. I don't want to do it, but you know, I need to at least do it today so I can get them off my ass about it. You know, just give it a shot, you know? And so, getting back to like staying healthy and the things that you can control, I think for the most part, you can control what's in front of you on your plate. Yeah. You know, I think diet is such a huge thing that, you know, your health starts from within. Yeah. You know, and, you know, physical activity is one thing, but your diet is like another that you have a lot of control on, you know, and it's not always easy. We don't always have the money to buy like the healthiest foods,
right,
you know, and things, but you can limit, you know, your portions. You can, you know, choose
really
water over soda, you know, and yeah, I mean, it's hard because, I mean, you go anywhere, you order something and it feeds me 3 times, you know, and it's like, stuff that down, but within your own control, whatever you have, you know, the capability of, control what's on your plate. Control what's going into your system, because that is, I mean, that's your daily medicine, you know, is your food.
Did you ever see Super Size Me, that documentary?
I never did.
Okay.
I talked about it with a lot of people, but I never saw it.
And it kind of breaks down to portion size, because every time you went there, they asked, did you want to get super sized? Like, yeah. So you took like a regular, you know, 200 calorie soda, doubled it to 400 calories, you know, 80 grams of sugar. You know, so I mean, like, people think, oh, you know, if you had burgers every day, you'd be a fat slob. It's not the burgers. It's the double patties. It's the 3 layers of cheese. It's the grande fries. You know what I mean? It's portions, you know? For me, I've just kind of cut out sugars over the years, you know, and when it comes to portion sizes, I just don't eat as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I'm also not burning as many calories as I used to, so I'm not as hungry as I'm used to be. But like, even over Thanksgiving, it's hard for, like, I had to like do it in like portions throughout the day. Like, I couldn't just sit down and eat a full plate of crap, you know? Like, I don't feel good personally after I eat that much anymore either. I feel lethargic. I feel tired, you know? So, I mean, food really is, and there's so much stuff out there you can educate yourself on now with all the outlets out there. But like, food really is the field that will help you accomplish anything in life. Yeah.
I would love to hear like some of the diets that you guys have tried. You know, I think just, you know, for me, starting the new year, one of the things I'm doing is intermittent fasting. Okay. I'm limiting, you know, like the block of time that I can eat during the day between like 12 and 6. Okay. Right. And I'm just trying to eat 2 square meals, keep it healthy, drink water, you know, not reaching for sodas, you know, just stick to liquids, you know, outside of that time frame. And, you know, I'm going to try and see if that can flush my body out and, you know, do some new things. Cause I've honestly, like, you can hear I'm a little nasally right now. Just when I was in Florida, I had so many allergies and things that were driving me crazy.
God, that's kind of one of your things.
Inflammation was just going crazy, and like I felt like I had ants crawling around in my head the whole time. It was just, it sucked, man. So I mean, diet can be a huge asset for you. And I don't know, is there one thing that, like, since you've gotten hurt, that just like messes with you now when you eat it?
Yeah. Well, not food wise, but as we were talking about working out and everything, I think one fun fact people don't know about quads or spinal cord injuries, I think this might be with you too, is I don't sweat. Do you sweat?
Nope, not at all. And I thought, you know, when I got hurt, they said, oh, you're not going to sweat, you know,
as much
below your level of injury. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I don't sweat at all. Like, it's dangerous.
I don't even sweat like on my, like, and what I mean by not sweating is like, I don't sweat. Like, I don't perspire. I don't have pit sweat, forehead sweat, nothing. Unless something's seriously wrong, I might sweat on the back of my neck.
You still stink though.
Yeah, I smell like crap every day. Like, if you could smell me through the lens right now, you'd be like, "Oh my god, this guy smells."
This
like
episode
garbage.
Not brought to you by Axe Body Spray
or any kind of like cleaning products. But I don't sweat. People always trip out when I say, like, "What do you mean you don't sweat?" And I'm like, "No, I don't perspire." Like, so what happens to us is we overheat real easily. Or the opposite, we get cold real easily.
And you don't have the ability to flush the toxins out of your skin. You know, I had a crazy skin problem. Like, after about a year after I got hurt,
your skin just dried
up. I just broke out real bad on my back. You know, but
which you've never had acne ever, right?
No, I mean, you know, pimples here and there, but like never really a big struggle for me. Yeah. But being in bed all the time, all the constant heat. Yeah. You know, being in my chair, like constant contact on my back at the gym, whatever. Not being able to sweat it out, flush those toxins from the skin.
Gosh.
You know, like.
So what was your answer to that? How'd you get rid of that?
Honestly,
or do you have a bag full of pimples right now?
No, I'm clear.
Let's see. Prove it.
Clear now?
Prove it.
It was diet and exercise. No, man, just like flushing the diet out. You know, like drinking a lot more water. Yeah. Because I was still kind of on the bachelor diet. You know, and I mean, I was still eating burgers, hot dogs, tacos, like all that stuff. And it just, that wasn't good for you. But then, you know, I had to get a little, you know, medication, like help in that way. Yeah. But, you know, just making sure I kept things clean, keeping my clothes clean, all of that. But it's just crazy because there's so many things that are affected by diet or just things that come up that, you know, can be affected. And it's nuts, man.
It's weird too, because like I never pictured myself at 33 taking cranberry pills to make sure my urine tract is clean. But But it's the more I've learned about my body, the more I appreciate it.
For sure.
I'm very grateful I still have as healthy. I am as healthy as I am today.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have had this kind of knowledge and this kind of I don't know how else to explain it, but I wish I would have done this years ago, way before I got hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's like my body's my temple, and I treat it that way, And I think that's the kind of appreciation you have to and value you got to have for your own body.
Yeah.
When it comes to staying healthy, you got to really look at yourself as a temple, as a vessel that you're going to take in the next 50, 60, 80 years of your life.
Right.
And if you don't start taking care of it, you will hit an age where you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like,
what
this
did
is,
I do?
Yeah. Like, this is one hell of an uphill climb, and how am I ever going to get there?
When you put bad gas into a car, that thing ain't gonna run right.
No,
no.
Especially
if you don't wash that car, that paint's gonna break down.
Or what other cars have you driven? Driven.
I've driven. Man, like since I got hurt or what?
No, like what was your first car in general?
Freaking green monster, baby. Yeah, a lifted Dodge Ram, a green Dodge Ram.
Okay.
In high school, and then. From there, I had another truck. I went into a Chevy Silverado.
Finally, okay, you're on the Chevy team. So
okay, yeah, bro, please.
All right.
Like borrowed my mom's car for a while.
Yeah.
When I went off to college, it had 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
because my Orange County freaking
big
old truck was only 2 wheels.
Right. It's like worthless. To lift it. Yeah.
Pain in the ass. Yeah, man. Now. I had a big old van after I got hurt. It looked like a freaking ambulance.
Yeah, it looked like
white girl. I call it white girl.
It looked like a bootleg version of the Ghostbusters car back in the day. Big old white, just faded out car. Yeah.
Now I'm rocking the MV1.
Yeah.
Darth Vader, baby.
My first truck was a small green S10.
Okay.
But we both had green.
Green.
Small. I had rims on it. It was totally gangstered out. I had the system in it and everything. But I've had my truck now for over 12 years. I love it though.
Yeah, attaboy.
It's my girl.
Hey, dude, I want to know. Okay, so with all this eating right and getting into the gym stuff, you have any crazy stories at the gym, like something that just went down that, especially going over to 24? 'Cause I got one. I got one that comes to mind for me.
I got 2 stories. One thing used to always happen was when I would first check into the gym.
Yeah.
Everybody always asked you, have a good workout. What are you going to work out today? My response was always legs. I'm going to hit that squat rack over there.
Yeah.
And for the first 10 visits, they looked at me like, oh, good for you. Like they didn't know how to respond to that until they got to know me a little better. Then they started like, oh, funny.
It's like that Jeff, that guy. It's like,
yeah, just and then my second thing that happened was I was doing a bent over row, right? And I do my morning routine, whatever. And as I'm doing it, I just felt like a little maybe shart come out a little bit. And I knew it happened. And my buddy I was working out with, he's like, man, it smells like shit here today. I'm like, I don't know what they haven't cleaned these machines in a long time.
Like a bird shit on my seat before I came here.
So I maybe sharted myself during a heavy rep at the gym, but those are that's probably the craziest stories.
Dude, I've seen guys doing that, just benching that are total able bodies.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I've had some interesting times at the gym. There's always interesting characters there overall. But I love the gym though. It's actually a good cast of people that go there usually.
Dude, I remember one time I was at Goodwill Fitness and I was taking creatine.
What's the name of that gym?
Rogers A. Severson Fitness and Technology Center of Orange County.
All right. Yeah. That's better.
Yeah. And dude. So I was taking some creatine. I just eaten a big lunch and I had all this red fluid in my stomach. Right. And
I know where this is going.
I was at the point where I was working with a physical therapist and she had a couple interns, right?
Okay.
So I had a lot of hands on deck helping me out. And we would kind of guinea pig with me because I was, really willing to try some crazy things and just really push myself. Yeah. And so I ended up getting on the elliptical, right?
Okay.
And I know. How does that happen?
I was there for that day.
How does that happen, right? So we get this thing, gosh, I forget the name of it, but it's basically a big arch that goes over here. The Biodex, yeah, good call. So I was on the Biodex, I was suspended, and I got my legs into this thing. I got my hands put up on the machine, and dude, we just started going. And I have some leg motion, so I can really push it. And I just started going and going and going, and dude, I just, I hit that mentality where it's I'm not stopping till I'm dead, right?
Yeah.
Well, oh my God, man, this thing started coming up, right? And I'm like, oh God, stop. And I'm like,
my God.
all of a sudden, dude, just like, I'm like, grab the trash can. And then I just exorcist this thing. Just, this freaking red liquid. Just all it looks like I'm puking up blood.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like that Kevin Hart moment. It's like, this is where your stomach tells you, ass, you got 30 seconds right now, dude.
No.
I was like, oh God, I'm like, get me off of here. Like,
no way.
It's coming. Like, yeah, dude. I'm like, all right, dude,
God.
I gotta get to the car. I gotta get home. I gotta go do this damn thing right now.
Oh, that's great.
Shit happens, but you know what, man?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta push yourself, and you gotta, put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and just ride it out. So I hope you guys,
Well, yeah, I think before you close it up, I think in closing, I think we want to really encourage you guys. 2020, make this the year you have no excuses. You go out and you try wild shit, safe, but wild stuff that you've been putting on the back burner for years. This is your year to go out and try something new and exciting.
Go get it. Believe in yourself. Find that person who believes in you as well. Hold yourself accountable. Put it up on that mirror. Write it down. Do whatever you got to do, and let's make it our year.
Yeah,
I'm ready to do it with you, brother. I hope we can all, we can all kill it.
I think where there's a will,
oh, there's a way.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
You just got to have some willpower. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and listen to Will Talks.
Yeah, so that's the first thing you got to do. So if you haven't yet, just subscribe. That should be your first resolution. Get it over with.
Subscribe.
It's really
easy. Hit that button.
Hit that button, baby. So, all right, guys, thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. We're glad to be back. Let's keep doing it in 2020.
We'll see you next week.
Have a good one.